Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your April 16th to the 30th, 2023 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let us see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. This one. Okay. That was easy. So we have right here the Three of Pentacles reversed. It's like the job isn't getting done. There can be a lack of motivation. It can be feeling rather overwhelmed. You can also have a lot of people's opinions coming at you, and it's just made it so like you're like a rabbit and we freeze. So just be aware of this during this time where there's a sense of like, oh my gosh, and you just want to freeze. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be it. It's just like, I just want to freeze. I don't want to move forward. I don't want to be doing this. I feel overwhelmed. Nobody's helping. This is all just on me. And it gets to be a bit much. So, an acknowledgement of that, that's like kind of all we need to do. Gemini here is acknowledge it. It's like, wow, this is a lot. And then we'll be like, oh, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. And then we'll be able to, you know, kind of like just take the plunge and do it. Just take the plunge and 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 move forward. But there's something here where if we don't acknowledge that it's hard and it's overwhelming and there's a lot going on, then we're just going to be stuck. And it's going to be that the hardest thing to do during this time is like take that first step, which sounds cliche. And cliches are cliches for a reason. There's a semblance of truth. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. This one. Here we have luminous. This is the message from spirit. A lot is going to become luminous to us. We are going to become luminous in and of ourselves. There is a real sense here of the nighttime illuminating a lot for us. There's a sense of ideas coming to us, ways that we're able to work things out. It will come to the quiet of the night, but very much like a Luna moth. It's going to be something beautiful and fleeting, and it illuminates, and then it's like, oh, okay, I needed to cherish that because it is so rare. It is so beautiful. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, so it's very interesting here. Is like we have the Emperor reverse. So this is also Aries energy reverse. We're in Aries up until the 19th. Up until the 19th, that could be a time that's been rather difficult for us. We've gotten in our own way, or there's been a lot going on. The King of Cups is reversed, the Strength card is reversed, and then we have us standing here, the Queen of Swords. It's like, no, I'm here, I'm showing up, I know what I want, I know where I'm headed, and I'm ready to get the job done. So there's this conflicting energy that we've been dealing with during this time that we need to just acknowledge. There is also, the Emperor reverse can also be negative masculine energy in our lives, or not really being able to connect with the sacred masculine of ourselves during this time as well. That could be something that needs to be acknowledged. But there's a sense here of not really seeing the bigger picture. We got caught up. And it was that freeze mentality that came. It's like we got caught up. We didn't see, it's like looking at a map and being able to look at the map. It's kind of like it comes 3D up and we can see all different avenues. We couldn't. It's just like we got caught. And that can be up till the end of Aries time frame. So just acknowledging that this might be a difficult or a bit of a raw time for us as well. And also understanding the masculine energy is like the energy of action that we need to really be embracing. Our chi might be off. The yin and the yang of us might not be fully centered. So that is something to acknowledge during this time. We can, work with that, heal that, come into balance through qigong, through meditation. But it is going to be a time where we need to look and say, wow, okay, this, I am having trouble with this. This is overwhelming me. There can also be a relationship here, like a way that we thought something was going to work out and it didn't. And that kind of has thrown us for a loop. So just an acknowledgement of that as well. Here, Gemini is going to be something where it's like, oh, okay. Because I just see like everything so neatly presented and then turned upside down. It all falls down. So there's something here where it was a thought or it was all being neatly presented and then it just went topsy turvy. It all fell down. So an acknowledgement of that is going to be important. Now we have strength reversed. Strength reversed is that brute force strength, that sense of, I will make it happen. I will force this to be this way. I will do this. And spirit is telling us, okay, step back. Because either we're trying to force things to happen too much, or we're looking at things and doubting our own strength, doubting our own desires, because our strength is going to be quieter. It needs to be that quiet, tenacious, brilliant strength that people have when they're older, like when they've really gained wisdom and move forward. There's this energy that it's like, oh wow, okay, they don't have to yell the loudest, they don't have to, you know, do all of that, but there's a strength that emanates from them. This is kind of what we're missing. There's a sense of being a little bit adrift during this time. We can also be having a bit of a negative time with a Leo energy. We could also be having little bit of a negative time with an Aries energy. I don't see this as being major, but I do see this as throwing, kind of like rocks in our path and it being painful to walk over. There is also a sense here of questioning our own strength. Like, can I do this? Can I move forward this way? Is this even what I want? And it could be, that sense of a midlife, quarter life, wherever part of we are in life, crisis coming up, and we're questioning our strength, we're questioning our ability, we're questioning even what we want and what we're looking for and where we want to be. It moves us to the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is very much, be patient. We don't want to be patient. That's the last thing we want to be. We want to kind of like knock down all the walls and move things forward. But this is a time where we are going to have to be patient with ourselves. We are going to have to, kind of step back and say, okay, what do I need to nurture in order to get to where I want to be? And we can find that it takes us 7 months to get to where we want to be, how we want to move forward, how we are envisioning things, or it could be the seventh month. So be aware of that. Now that can also be a time because the seventh month also falls into it's July. So that's like Cancer Leo time frame. We can find the Leo part of that to be just a little bit difficult, a little bit like more challenging for us than we wanted it to be. So an acknowledgement of that is also going to be important with the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So Cancer time frame might really bring a lot of our heart's desires like to the surface and make us feel rather raw and rather vulnerable, and we don't want to be that way. It's kind of like the little kid who's really upset and going to cry, but you don't want to cry, so you're just holding it in, or like when you do that yourself. I don't know how I do that, and it's just that sense of it's okay to feel the emotions. It's okay to let things come to the surface. And it's okay what is coming to the surface, even though we want to fight it. So that's going to be something here that we just need to acknowledge. It's like, no, I don't want this to come forward, or I'm trying to hold this back. And Spirit's like, no, let it come. Let it come. Leading by example is who we are. And that's going to be a huge part of how we progress to like the next level, right? How we level up in this, video game of life. and how we learn, how we see, how we become what we want to be. And that's going to be a very huge thing for us because there's this sense almost as like we just felt everything too much, and then it can cause us almost to like shut down. It's like I can't feel anymore. I'm just too overwhelmed. So being able to acknowledge this is going to be very important for us. With also the King of Cups, we can have a bit of difficulty with a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer, a sense of, well, what do you want? And that can be really frustrating us because we're looking at it and we just want to know what you want. Like, how do you move forward? How do you lead? Because it's not what you're saying and what you're doing aren't necessarily aligning. So being aware of that is going to be important to us. We can also have, somebody in our life who's like a boss who's trying to like put the strings or weave everything together, and emotionally they're not showing up for the team, they're not showing up. It's going to be a partner where like they're not showing up. And it's like, what do you expect me to do if you don't show up? We, however, are showing up for ourselves. We have all this going on, and we can think, oh my gosh, what a chaotic time. Yeah, it's a bit of a raw time. It's a time where we step out. When we step out of it, we're like, ooh, that was a toughie. But I am now stronger and better and much more focused. Like I've gotten like, everything together. I got my stuff together. And with the Queen of Swords is the most powerful of all the queens in the sense of like the most masculine. I don't know how to put that. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it, where it's like, I'm not taking any bull. I'm moving forward this way. I know what it is that I want. I'm cutting through doubts and fears and negativities. I've trained. I've learned. I've, taken all of this in, and I will not be questioned. It's not being ruthless and mean, but it is being very assured of ourselves, which sounds like the complete opposite of everything we're going through. And yet it's not going to be. There's a real sense of like, no, I got this. I see this. I understand this. I'm moving forward now for me. I'm moving forward in the direction that I need to be in. We're cutting through a lot of the nonsense. And a lot of the nonsense was kind of like in our own heads. It was a little bit self-inflicted because we were judging ourselves really harshly, or we were looking at things and thinking that our strength, our power wasn't strong and wasn't powerful. And that made us feel at a disadvantage when it's like, okay, well, you're reading out of the wrong rule book. Like you're different. You're trying to look at yourself and make yourself like somebody else, or say, this is what success was for this person. That's what I want. This is what success will be for me. But we have to come to it as an individual and say, okay, this is me. Like I have to respect, understand, and be empowered by this. It moves us to our subconscious energy, and that is the Princess of Swords. Yeah, we can be a little bit immature during this time. Just an acknowledgement of that is going to be really important. The Princess of Swords is the Page of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So just a little bit of immaturity, a little bit of vanity, a real sense, or even it's kind of like the egotism of the youth, or the vanity of the youth, where it's like just acknowledge that, and being able to acknowledge it and say, oh, okay, not what I need, not what I wanted, or I'm getting in my own way because I'm not thinking long term, or I'm just thinking of the instant gratification or the instant way that I want this, and I'm not going to let my inner, teenage temper tantrum take away from the success that I'm walking into. That's going to be important because it's going to be very easy. Our subconscious message from spirit is positivity, embracing positivity, embracing a sense of love and connection and power and insight and ideas, and a sense that, like, yeah, I got this. Being positive with ourselves, being positive towards what we want and what we desire and what we're looking for, and coming to a place with gratitude, with with love, with kindness, the raising of the energy vibration. That's really important. And when we see ourselves slipping into sorrow, it's like, okay, why? Because again, we can easily slip into sorrow. We can easily just feel overwhelmed and too raw. It's kind of like it's kind of like when you have a burn, right? And when anything hits that burn, it's like, oh my gosh, it hurts so much. And that's what we're feeling like right now. It's like, oh my gosh, it hurts so much because we have that rawness. Everything's to the surface. And what that's going to do is it's really going to lead us in the direction of like, well, what do I want? Where do I need to be? What have I learned? Because we're coming out of this rawness where everything hit. And it's like, well, what can I create out of this? Like, what have I discovered out of this? What do I see about me out of all of this? What what shines through? Because that's going to be what we take and we move forward with and we create with it. Our subconscious tarot message is the death card, Scorpio energy, dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. We're being transformed and we're embracing that transformation. We're also going to be subconsciously a little bit sneaky. It's like, I don't want to tell everybody everything. I don't want to, go to every party, do everything. I want to connect, to look, to learn, and to see where that takes me. All right. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. God bless. Bye.